Hello student, I hope you understand all the exercise of the simple equation. Now today I give you brief review of all the topics of simple equations using the key points which we already discussed. But I give you a brief review so that if any topic which is not clear to you, that must be understandable. And one topic which is left, that is solution to equation, that we also discuss today. So now students, let us start with the keynotes of the simple equations. First keynote is an equation is a condition on the variable such that two expressions in the variable should have equal values. In the equations, the values of the two expressions using the variable are equal for an equation. So for an equation we use constants and variable, and when the two expressions are equal we get an equation. Next, the value of the variable for which the equation is satisfied is called the solution of the equation. So when equation is formed and we can find out the value of the variable, that we get an equation, that is solution of the equation. So we must understand that an equation is formed with the help of expressions. When expressions using variable are equal, then equation formed. The next is the value of the variable gives us the solution, and for that value equation is satisfied. The third keynote is an equation remains same if the left hand side and right hand side are interchanged. We must understand these points. Let us see few videos related to all these points and further keynotes, then we discuss step by step so that you get a review of this simple equations.
Let us recall what we learned about the equation in the previous class. An equation is a condition on a variable. Some examples of equations are shown here.
So students, an equation is a condition on the variable. For example, 70 plus 5p is equal to 18. One expression is 70 plus 5p. P is the variable, is equal to 18. When there is equal sign, we get an equation. Alright, so this is left hand side and this is the right hand side expressions. So when two expressions are equal, we get an equation. These all are examples of the equations, and these are the variables.
A variable is a letter or symbol used to represent one or more numbers. For example, x is equal to 4. Here, x is a variable and the number 4 is called the value of the variable.
Now, students, understand the algebraic expressions. Mathematical operation is used either plus or minus or multiply or divide. These are the constants or the numbers, and x act as the variable. So group of all these things act as the algebraic expressions.
Algebraic expressions can be used to represent statements taken from our everyday life. Let us take a statement. 1 kilogram of mango costs 20 rupees less than the cost of 1 kilogram of apple. Let the price of 1 kilogram of apple be rupees X. Then the price of 1 kilogram of mango is X minus 20 rupees. Let us learn about an equation. An equation is a mathematical statement which states that the two expressions are equal. Observe the examples of equation shown here. An equation is formed by placing an equal sign between two numerical or variable expressions called the sides of the equation.
Now, students, I thought you understand what is an equation. In equation, this side is act as left hand side and this complete side is act as right hand side. And we consider that when both sides are equal, we told that this is an equation.
The equality sign shows that the value of the expression to the left hand side LHS is equal to the value of the expression to the right hand side RHS. Interchanging the expressions, an equation remains the same if the expressions on left hand side and right hand side are interchanged. For example, consider an equation 2x plus 3 is equal to 4x minus 1. Now, we interchange the expressions on left hand side and right hand side and find that the equation remains unchanged.
Now, student, I thought you very well understand the first keynote, that is the equation. Second keynote, how the variable is used to find out the solutions. And third one is an equation remains same when left hand side are and right hand side are interchanged. We see more example to find out the solution of the equation. Now next key point is, in case of balanced equation, if we add the same number to both the sides or subtract the same number to both sides or multiply both sides by the same number or divide both sides by the same number, the balance remain undisturbed. That is, the value of left hand side remains equal to the value of the right hand side. So the equation is always a balanced equation. Means we can add, we can subtract, we can multiply and we can divide. But it is important that we must apply all the operation in the both side. Only then the equation is satisfied. So next is the above property gives us systematic method to solve an equation, that there is a system, there is a rule to solve an equation. We carry out a series of identical mathematical operations on two sides of the equations in such a way, on one side we just get variable and last step is the solution. As I told you earlier, how we solve the equation, we must apply such kind of operations that one side is only deal with then variable and all the constant move in other side. Next, transposing mean moving to the other side. Transposition of a number has same effect as addition, same number to, or we can say subtraction, same number from both the side of the equations. When you transpose a number from one side of the equation to other side, you change its sign. For example, plus 3 from left hand side to right hand side. In equation x plus 3 is equal to 8 gives x is equal to 8 minus 3. Now 3 is transposed towards right hand side and it is subtracted. We get the value is 5. So we can carry out the transposition of an expression in the same way as transposition of a number. The next one is, we have learned to show how to construct simple algebraic expressions corresponding to practical situation. This we have done in the in exercise, which exercise, in which the statement change into the equation. This is the case when statement or practical situations change into the equations. Alright, so let us understand more about these kind of problems in which we use all these things we have already studied, but just give to a review for the chapter. And the last key point which we must learn about this, we also learn how using the technique of doing same mathematical operations, for example adding the same number or the subtracting on both sides, we could build an equation starting from solution. This topic is left now. I show you the video of this topic so that you can understand. Further, we also learn we could relate a given equation to some appropriate practical situation. Practical situations means word problems. You know now how we solve the word problem in last exercise 4.4, that we have already learned. So all these you must note down in your notebooks, and I show you few examples and videos relate for more understanding of these key points.
Letters that mean addition. Observe the table shown here, which explains the meaning of words through examples.
So students, understand the words which are used in the statement to change in the expressions. All are used for the addition, sum of, more than, added to, plus, या increased by. All are used here for the addition sign.
Let us learn about some words that mean subtraction. Observe the table shown here, which explains meaning of words through examples.
So now all these words are used for the subtraction: less than, decrease by, minus, difference, reduce by, or subtraction. We can use all these words to form a statement or statements to equations. So these are the words for the multiplication. Multiply, multiplied by, twice. We can use double or times. How many times? If that is given in the statement, na 3 times, 4 times, that is multiplications. So twice means 2 times, that is 2 is multiplied with the variable. See, these are the words used for the division. Divide, divided by, half of, 1/3 of, as we have used na x by 3 for 1/3, the quotient of, or x by 5.
Let us now learn how to solve an equation. The value of the variable in the equation for which left hand side is equal to right hand side is called the solution of the equation. Trial and error method to solve an equation. We put different numerical values for the variable one by one and check whether values on left hand side and right hand side of the equation are equal. If the two values are equal, then the value of the variable is the solution, else we continue the process till we get the solution.
So students, as you know the trial and error method, we try with more and more values of the variable, put more and more values of the variable.
An equation 5x plus 6 is equal to 26. Here x is a variable. Now put x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 to find the solution of the equation. On putting x is equal to 1 in the equation, we find left hand side is not equal to right hand side, so the equation is not satisfied for x is equal to 1. Also, on putting x is equal to 2 the equation is not satisfied. Similarly, equation is not satisfied for x is equal to 3. Now we put x is equal to 4 and find the left-hand side is equal to right-hand side. So x is equal to 4 satisfies the equation. Hence, x is equal to 4 is the solution of the equation 5x plus 6 is equal to 26. Balanced equation. An equation is like a weighing balance. Amounts should be equal on both sides. Equation is like a weighing balance. Amounts should be equal on both sides. Is 8 equal to 4 plus 4? Yes, 8 is equal to 4 plus 4. If the amounts are equal on both sides, then it is said to be a true equation. Is 12 equal to 4 plus 5? No, 12 is not equal to 4 plus 5. If the amounts are not equal on both sides, then it is said to be a false equation. Consider an equation 10 is equal to x plus 5. Now, x should take such value that does not disturb the balance. X equal to 4 does not satisfy the equation. X is equal to 5 satisfies the equation. Therefore, x is equal to 5 is the solution of the equation. Now let us consider the equation 6 plus 4 is equal to 13 minus 3. This equation is balanced as both sides of the equation are equal to 10. Adding 2 on both sides, we get the equation 6 plus 4 plus 2 is equal to 13 minus 3 plus 2, whose left-hand side and right-hand side are equal. Thus, if we add the same number to both sides of a balanced equation, the balance is undisturbed. Subtracting 3 from both sides of the equation, we find that values on left-hand side and right-hand side are equal. Thus, if we subtract the same number from both sides of a balanced equation, the balance is undisturbed. On multiplying both sides of the equation by 4, we find that values on left-hand side and right-hand side are equal. Thus, if we multiply both sides of a balanced equation by the same number, the balance is undisturbed. On dividing both sides of the equation by 10, we find that the values on left-hand side and right-hand side are equal. Thus, if we divide both sides of a balanced equation by the same number, the balance is undisturbed. Let us work out an example. Solve the equation 10 is equal to x plus 5. On subtracting 5 from both sides, we get 5 is equal to x. That is, x is equal to 5 is the solution of the given equation. Now we study the concept of transposition. Moving a term of an equation from one side to the other side is called transposition. We can transpose a number instead of adding or subtracting it from both sides of the equation. While transposing a number, we change its sign. Let us solve an equation using transposition. Solve 19x minus 13 is equal to 11x plus 35 and verify the result. we transpose 11x to the left hand side and minus 13 to the right hand side and find that 19x minus 11x is equal to 35 plus 13. On simplification, we find that x is equal to 6. Hence, x is equal to 6 is the solution of the given equation. Let us verify this solution. On putting x is equal to 6 in the left-hand side of the equation, we get left-hand side is equal to 101. And on putting x is equal to 6 in the right-hand side of the equation, we get right-hand side is equal to 101. Thus, we find that left-hand side is equal to right-hand side. So, x is equal to 6 satisfies the equation. Hence, the solution is correct. We know that there is always a solution of an equation. But can we make equations when the solution is known? Let us explore it. Let x is equal to 5 be the solution of an equation. Then we need to find the equation. We start with x is equal to 5 and subtract 3 from both sides and get x minus 3 is equal to 2, which is the equation whose solution is x is equal to 5. Now let us make another equation. Again we start with x is equal to 5 and multiply both sides by 2 and get 2x is equal to 10. Now we add 3 to both sides and get 2x plus 3 is equal to 13, which is the required equation. Applications of simple equations to practical situation. We have already seen examples in which we have taken statements in everyday life and converted them into simple equations. We have also learned how to solve these equations. Let us solve some problems of simple equations based on daily life statements. Vanshika has 80 rupees in her piggy bank. How much money does she need to buy a game that costs 130 rupees? Let x represent the amount of money Vanshika needs. Then the equation 80 plus x is equal to 130 represents the given problem. Now we subtract 80 from both sides of the equation and find that the value of x is 50. So Vanshika needs 50 rupees to buy the game. Now we have another problem. Sunil's father is 49 years old. He is 4 years older than 3 times Sunil's age. What is Sunil's age? Let x represent Sunil's age. Then the equation 3x plus 4 is equal to 49 represents this problem. We subtract 4 from both sides of the equation and then divide both sides by 3 to get the value of x. We find that the value of x is 15. Thus, the age of Sunil is 15 years.
Students, I hope you understand all the keynotes of simple equations. So you must give a review of complete chapter and complete all the exercise of this chapter. So student, I hope you understand all the key points of simple equations and this topic, that is solution to equation. You must note down all the key points in the notebook after completion of all the exercise. So that must be about the simple equation. So you must complete in these days all the exercise of simple equations. In next video we start with our next chapter.